Hey there, divine souls. Thank you so much for coming back to TV by Collective. This is another episode of Skies, and today we are going to be discussing the Venus retrograde in Gemini and Mars in Pisces. Now, for those of you who are new to the world of astrology, retrogrades are basically planetary phenomena that carry with them lessons that, we need to learn that are relative to the themes of that particular planet that is in retrograde. So, in short, they are what I like to call the universe's nudge into the deep, dark cave of self to just revisit, heal, learn lessons, and, let go of unhealthy behavioral patterns. So, Venus is retrograde. Approximately 40 to 43 days every 18 months. And as I said earlier, with retrogrades, they tend to teach us lessons relative to the themes of the planet in retrograde. So Venus in particular is the symbol of fertility, beauty, romance, and victory. So it represents our relationships, self-love, possessions, value, money, diplomacy, and harmony. So these are basically the areas that we'll be going inward to review in relation to our own lives. So Venus is going to be retrograde in Gemini from May 13th. Well, it went retrograde on May 13th, and it will be retrograde until June 25th. But then there will be a post-shadow period after it leaves the retrograde zone on July 29th. Yes, of 2020. So basically, Venus goes retrograde back to the same sign every 8 years. Now, the last time Venus was in retrograde was springtime of 2004 and 2012. So, how you can make the most out of this period? Um, Basically just start by trying to remember what you were experiencing in those two time periods with regards to romantic love, self-love, your social life and finances. And if you can manage to identify the patterns, between May 15th to June 27th of 2012, and from May 17th to June 17th 2004, those were the exact dates that it was retrograde. Then if you spot them playing out again this year, then that's how you'll know, what exactly needs to be worked on, so you can change those areas for the better, to break unhealthy patterns and heal those limiting beliefs. um, just a quick, heads up, old friends and lovers are going to definitely reappear, perhaps maybe complicating your current relationships. So at this time, you're going to be called upon to just deal with relationship issues from the past. This is going to be a time where we reassess what and who we value. It's not really an ideal time to get married or start a new relationship. Sorry, guys. And it's also not a great time for major financial undertakings. Um, it's also, because it rules beauty, Venus, it's not a good time if you are planning to do any beautification processes, i.e., a new hairdo. This is the time you might go to the salon and your hair gets messed up. If you are planning to purchase a new wardrobe, do any cosmetic surgery, renovations of your house, redecorating, not the best time. Also, it's not the best time for social events, which is not so bad because, social distancing. Um, yeah, but this is a really good time to just create your budgets and financial plans, go over your spending habits, rethinking also your personal relationships. Taking final action, though, uh, in the areas of finance and love, just in general, is not advised until Venus goes direct again and after post shadow. So you can start making those decisions around June 25th, but I would advise waiting for after post shadow because the post shadow still carries lingering energies from the retrograde. Um, but good, a good thing about this time is if you're not about, committed relationships, any unorthodox or experimental or non-intimate relationships are favored at this time. So have at it. Also, there are going to be some of the more challenging aspects of Venus in Gemini, taking on or borrowing from Gemini traits, which may be a bit hard to take depending what your star sign is. So there may be, more gossip going around, superficiality with the people that you surround yourself with or that are just in the social sphere. There may be also a lot of two-facedness, so a lot of friendships are going to be, well, not just friendships, just relationships in general are going to be really tested. And also there's going to be a lot of emotional unavailability. Now, I'm going to get into like how each sign is going to be affected, but in general, Taurians and Librans will be particularly sensitive to the effects of this retrograde. This also applies to people who have Taurus and or Libra in their, love or financial areas of their charts, i.e. your second house or your fifth and seventh houses. So this is going to include, people with Aries rising, because Libra is in your house of partnerships, and often Taurus is on the cusp of your income house, which is the second house. Scorpio rising as well, if you have Scorpio rising, because Taurus is on the cusp of your house of partnerships. Now, Taurus or Libra in the fifth house of romance is another indicator, which is more frequent with people who have Capricorn rising and Gemini rising, as well as those people who have Venus in Taurus or Venus in Libra are going to be the mostly affected or most sensitive to the cycle. So, now let's jump into how it affects your personal sign. So when I read through the signs, please note it is sun or rising. This doesn't apply to your moon sign. So you can listen to your sun and your rising sign. If you like, I have put the timestamps for the particular signs in the description box below. So let's start with Aries, sun or rising signs. So if you have Aries as your sun or rising, Venus retrograde this time is in your third house of communication, siblings, and neighbors. So you might want to keep to yourself, and alienate a few people, especially your siblings and neighbors. You may feel communication seems insincere, or you may have a bit of a hard time getting your ideas across in a warm and genuine way. For others, conversations about love or past relationships will be in focus. This is also a time to reevaluate, what interests you on a personal level. Also, just expect and be patient with delays on the work front, and this is, more of an advantage to you so that you can make necessary edits. With whatever project you are working on. But overall, Venus rules your partnership and income sector. So both and or either of these things will come up for review during this cycle. Next, if you have a Taurus sun or Taurus rising, So you are a Venus native. You know, Venus rules, is your ruler, but it occurs in your second house of money and values. So really try to be more vigilant with your money. I don't think I have to reiterate that, especially with the current climate of the world right now. But most of you will be taking the time to rethink your sources of income and how you spend your money in general. So just avoid making any big purchases until July or August if possible. You might use this time to work on how you attract or repel the income that you deserve. Food for thought. You could also be distancing yourself from others and questioning whether, others are truly good for you. An old lover might, resurface, complicating the present. But you got this. I have faith in you. Venus also, rules your work and health sector. So the desire for satisfaction in the workplace is really, really strong right now. But you may feel like it's complicated to achieve. So hang in there, Taurus. You got this. Gemini, Sun and Gemini rising. So you guys will be dealing with issues surrounding independence, how you carry yourself, your image during this cycle. This retrograde is going to be occurring entirely in your sign, affecting your first house, which is, your personal appearance, how people view you, and how you present yourself to others. At this time, other people may misunderstand you in terms of what you do and what you say, and they might also misread your body language during these next 6 weeks. This will tend to make you feel the need to rethink the way you present yourself. Because you may be coming across as harsher or more distant than you normally are without even realizing it. So just try to keep in balance until you've given everything some thought. Take this time to just review your responses to new things and experiences and the first impression that you make on others. Because, Venus rules your romance sector. Don't jump to conclusions if a lover or a love interest is acting a bit distant. Just wait it out. Everything will, reveal itself to you in divine timing. This is also, a time for you to reevaluate what makes you genuinely happy. So, Venus rules your 12th house, which is the realm of the unseen. So, your desires from love and relationship may be a bit hard for you to figure out for the time being, because you may not be so sure exactly of what you want. So, be patient with yourself and just take your time. Cancers. If you have Cancer as your sun or your rising sign, this retrograde is going to be occurring in your 12th house, which is the realm of the unseen, of all that lies beneath the surface of things. People from the past are definitely going to be resurfaced, main theme. And this will probably happen for you in different ways, either physically or through messages online, or they might simply come to mind or feature in your dreams. So pay attention to your dreams. You may be dealing with past karma right now as well. What you want from love, your desires can seem ambiguous, and a bit obscure at this time. So take the time to just deal with your past so that you can put it behind you. Don't repress your feelings, but don't also do it at the expense of your present. Balance is key here. Relationships with friends and family may also be a little strained because Venus rules these areas of your chart. So just take this time to reassess your comfort levels and what you feel comfortable doing, saying, and acting on. Next, Leos. If you have Leo as your sun or your rising sign, this cycle is going to occur in your 11th house of friendships, groups, and aspirations. So, your friendships may be or feel a little strained during this time due to you wanting to withdraw. So, others might just misinterpret your intentions when all you want to do is just, enjoy your own company. You may get the feeling that friends are either disinterested or insincere as well at this time. Also, you may feel like a separation can feel heavier than usual. So, if you're separated from somebody at this time, it may weigh heavy on you at this time. Your satisfaction from your current social life or, you know, goals that make you happy or passion projects will come into question, giving you the space to just reassess and find ways to make improvements to those areas of your life. Venus rules the areas of your chart connected to career, authority figures, and communication. So these may not satisfy you as much as you'd like right now. Again, just be patient with self. So take extra caution because there may also be delays that will leave you feeling in a state of limbo. So review and reassess, Leo. Review and reassess. Virgo Sun and Virgo Rising. This Venus retrograde is going to be affecting your 10th house, which is the house of career and reputation. Now, the social aspect of, your relationships at work may feel like they're compromised or be compromised, or it just may be your satisfaction and enjoyment from your career and responsibilities could be, going into question. So just try to be as non judgmental as you can with others during this cycle as you reassess. I think reassessment and is another major theme here for every single sign. But you might find that your professional reputation is not as favorable as you're used to it being, at least not from your point of view. So you may not know how exactly you would like to come across, and this could be part of the reason for any confusion that comes to mind right now. So you might look to the past projects and goals that you may have set for yourself for inspiration during this time. And you may also be rethinking a direction that you've been taking. Because Venus rules your money and possessions, uh, as well as your ninth house of adventure and discovery, just watch how you spend your money. Take time to really review your finances. If you don't do accounting on the regular, that's something you should look into. Try not to feel disillusioned in general. Just think of ways you can improve your life. Meditation and exercises like yoga and Tai Chi would be really, really great for you right now. Libra Sun and Rising. Now, this retrograde is going to be occurring in your ninth house, which is the house of faith, spirit, and adventure. Now, a disagreement over your life, your personal life philosophy could cause drama, or it may reveal what seems to be deep seated issues in any relationship, any close relationships you may have. Or you could just be reassessing your faith, what you believe in at this time, reassessing whether what you're studying in school is what you want to be doing. Just in general, your beliefs during this cycle will be going under heavy, heavy review. It may just be that, your larger plans and goals going into the future don't satisfy you very much these days. So you're just wanting to take a closer look at the problems to just make sense of it all right now. So this is just a cycle which, you'll be using to redefine your life goals and visions, your legacy, what you want to be remembered as. Your eighth house of shared resources and intimacy is going to be affected because it is ruled by Venus as well. So you may find your as I was saying, legacy, it's a house of legacy. Like, what what or how do you find your intimate life leaves you feeling, and most of you might find that it's wanting, to say the least, and it may be hard to find emotional and financial support when you need it most at this time. So, you're also ruled by Venus. So, this is really, really an important time for your own personal reflection and introspection. You'll be just fine. Scorpio Sun and Scorpio Rising. This Venus retrograde is occurring in your eighth house of intimacy and shared resources. So, as well as personal transformation. So, just be more vigilant and more mindful with your money, work on a budget, be more careful, when discussing issues that revolve around intimacy and your sexuality, but consider your needs first and foremost. You may have a disagreement over joint finances if that's something you are, involved in at this time. It may get you into a bit of trouble, so it may be wise to hold off, observe, and just reserve your judgment. Woosah, take a woosah moment and just breathe, because what you say right now may have really annoying ramifications. Temporarily, you may find it hard to be supported or feel supported by others, and your intimate life may feel and seem superficial and strained. So just use this time to review your money and matters, shared matters with regards to finance. And also look into things like taxes. Maybe you may have put it off. Your partnership sector as well is ruled by Venus. So you may be finding some challenges with your spouse or a close partner. Past lovers are definitely going to figure strongly in your life right now, because Venus rules your privacy sector. So you could also be dealing with past actions and karma. So brace for impact. It is time definitely to redefine what and possibly who it is that you desire. Moving on to Sagittarius Sun and Sagittarius Rising. Now, Sagittarius, your solar 7th house of one-to-one partnerships is going to be affected most during this time. Misunderstandings with your partner may be very figurable right now. You may need to talk through your problems. Do your best to be as non judgmental as possible. Try not to overreact to what your partner has to say, because you may be a bit more drawn to quick temper. A partnership can appear stalled at this time. Something may feel like it's up in the air, or you may feel like a close partner is distant, emotionally distant, that is. You may also be questioning your satisfaction levels with regards to your relationships. Friendships and working relationships as well are ruled by Venus in your chart, and special care should be, exercised in these areas of life. Just be patient. Just be patient, be patient, be patient. Even if these, certain areas in your life fail to satisfy you for the time being. Again, take time to reassess what and who is most important to you. Next, my Cappies, Capricorn Sun and Capricorn Rising. Now, this retrograde is going to be affecting your sixth house, which is, the sector of work, health, and habits. So, in additional to all I've been telling the fellow zodiac signs, about reassessing and relationships and money, the social aspect of your relationships at work may feel strained for the time being, or just your general satisfaction from your career, the work that you do, your chores or routines that you have, that you've set for your daily life. So just do your best to not let frustrating people get to you, because again, you're quite sensitive at this time. The desire for feeling warmth, in terms of your career, feeling like you really enjoy what you do and, derive pleasure from what you do, is really strong right now. But you may feel like the path ahead to see is hard right now. Just be patient with self. You can schedule major beautification processes around this cycle. Um, you know, take time for self care. And when I say major beautification, I don't mean go for surgery. I mean like do some facials, have a foot bath, that type of stuff. There'll be a huge focus on healing and, processing regarding your health. So you'll be watching your diet, your workouts, things that you just expose yourself to. So that means in terms of people that you hang out with, what you read, etc., etc. Now, Venus is also going to be ruling, not also going to be, it does rule areas of your chart affected with career, relationships with lovers, and children. So there may be something left up in the air in any of these areas, but just wait things out and everything will make sense. Keep in mind that, slowing down things can really serve you well. So just hang in there. Aquarius, Sun and Aquarius rising. Now, this cycle is going to be occurring in your fifth house of romance, pleasure, speculation, and children. Now, because this cycle affects your romance directly and speculation, you may or should be especially wary of taking risks, or ill considered moves in love. It's a good time to reassess how satisfying your life is on the lines of what brings you pleasure, entertainment, how you creatively express yourself, because Venus also rules creativity, or romance. You may feel like, you're on shaky ground in terms of romance, but well, it could be that, but it's also likely that it's just a slowdown in your romance department. So you don't necessarily need to share all your feelings with your love right now. And don't jump into conclusions if your love needs a little space. It can be challenging to get satisfaction from your romantic and creative activities for the time being. Also, spoiler alert, old lover gonna resurface in your life during this retrograde. It may complicate matters, it may not, just it depends how you deal with it. It's just a time for people to gain closure and learn lessons that were not learned in the past. Also, watch for less than warm relationships with family members or problems in your home life. It may be best to wait on buying any new property or major things for your home right now. All right, finally, Pisces Sun and Pisces Rising. Now, if you have this placement in your chart, this cycle is in your fourth house, which is the area of home and family. So, relations with your family may be a little strained, or comfort matters may come into question. So, the desire or need for warmer relations, with family members, or just, needing to feel the support and feel secure is especially strong for you right now. Um, it's a great time to think about how to improve your home, but not necessarily going forward with brand new projects. Just think about, ruminate, ruminate. Um, Now, this cycle will also affect the Venus ruled sectors of your chart, which are communications and intimacy. So you may be feeling unsupported right now, whether it's emotionally or financially. You may also feel a little withdrawn when it comes to daily communications and, just light chit chat. I'm a Pisces and I don't like small talk at all. So, I don't know about the rest of you, but this is just a general time to, take time for yourself. Take a second look at debts, shared resources, and your intimate relationships. Okay, now we're going to move into Mars in Pisces, what it means for us, and I'm also going to dive into, how it affects us. As with regards to our various zodiac signs. So basically, when Mars is in Pisces, we tend to feel less motivated. We feel less motivated to pursue our goals. And when I say goals, I mean in the traditional sense of goals, because Mars is that, drive, masculine energy to build, but when it's in Pisces, Pisces is that more yin energy, that feminine energy. So what we are more motivated to do is to pursue spiritual or emotional type of goals, during this cycle. We don't really dislike, we dislike confrontation during this time as well. So our output is variable rather than straightforward. Your energy is going to be just up and down. You may put others' needs ahead of your own. You may be more idealistic. Your more idealistic side is going to come to the forefront. You're going to be more dreamy, more imaginative during this cycle, being less complicated, less straightforward and more complicated. Now, Mars entered Pisces on May the 12th, and it will stay there until June the 27th of 2020. So here is how it's going to affect each zodiac sign. Again, this is for the sun and rising. So I'm going to start with Aries. Aries. So if you have Aries as your sun sign or your rising sign, excuse me, if you have Aries as your sun or rising sign, during this time, secret longings may confuse your aims and hidden activities may block your progress because you're not at your strongest and most effective because, Mars is your home planet. So it's quite confusing, this energy for you. But it's an excellent time for you to have some me time, to let your imagination and your creativity flow and to just engage in spiritual pursuits. So why not just enjoy a retreat? Yes, enjoy, Aries. Next, Taurus Sun and Taurus Rising. This is a time, if you have this in your chart, for intense socializing with groups, whether it be it at work or friend groups, social engagements. You'll be really feeling the need to, reach out to your friends, and it will take up quite a lot of your time. But something you need to be aware of is arguments or misunderstandings, excuse me, during this time. So it's an excellent time in which to work toward your dreams and make progress on group projects. So this is a great time for you to achieve things with certain people with a common goal. Geminis, if you have a Gemini sun or a Gemini rising, at this time, how Mars is affecting you is that you can promote your career and public image as well as your work to establish your authority at this time. So anything that you do now will bring you really high visibility. So make sure you act clean, imaginative, and motivated, to be motivated to act in the good of all concerned. This is a great time for you to make your mark in the world and to fight for recognition. Hey, go Gemini, you get that bag. Next, we have Cancer Sun and a Rising. So Cancer, travel looks really good for you right now. Um, and this can be in terms you don't have to be actually taking a physical trip. You might find yourself chasing after your dreams in far exotic places, through the inner journeys of your mind. Um, so you can expand your horizons right now, increase your intellectual influence, and set sail for inspiring destinations. Remember, your thoughts create things, so do not take this time for granted. I'm sure it's going to be phenomenal manifestation time for you. Next, we have Leo. So, Leo, if you have Leo as your sun or rising sign, this is going to be a very sexy transit for you, because intimate relationships are going to be heating up on all fronts. Yes. Okay, okay. A desire for closeness and passion is going to be accompanied by increased activity in the bedroom, but also a likelihood of arguments and tensions, both due to your desire for intensity, that fire energy. Also, if you're in a situation where you have joint finances, it may be a bit tricky for you right now. Virgos, if you have Virgo as your sun or rising, right now your partner holds all the cards right now. Yep, they are calling all the shots. So just avoid arguments and let them lead the way. Happy wife, happy husband, happy life. Yeah, just let them have it. Relationships may require a degree of sacrifice right now, but then again, it's going to be a relief to not have to control every detail for you. Just let your partner take the lead and inspire you at this time. Libra, if you have Libra as your sun or rising, work at this time may be a bit hectic because there may be a lot to do and very little time to do it. So little time, so much to do. This will be a great period, though, for you to make progress at work and to get things done because you're ready to, put your nose to the grindstone. Tensions may be present right now, so the best thing to do is just to focus on your work, focus on the task right now. Make sure you get enough rest, feed yourself properly, and avoid too much stress, and you'll be fine. Next, Scorpio Sun and Scorpio Rising. Now, this is going to be a really romantic period for you with love on the brain. If tensions are rising, then you can work them out in the bedroom. Plain and simple. It's also a great time for you to just have fun, pursue your hobbies, throw yourself into something creative, a creative project. Let your imagination run wild. Children also, if you have any, may be demanding right now, but this won't be without its perks. Your kids are definitely gonna, bless you with some things and some lessons right now, with Mars in Pisces. Okay, Sagittarius Sun and Sagittarius Rising. For you, home and family life will become more active right now, or you may experience tension. It could be either or. You can bring an artistic touch into your home, or just, find yourself giving to a family member selflessly in terms of attention or support. But it's a great time to just pour focus on your own private life and just see things or tend to the things that make you feel secure. Capricorn Sun or Capricorn Rising, the next 6 weeks, you're going to see a lot of commotion all around you, stimulating your mind, making it a really imaginative and just really, really interesting time period for you. You may even, tire yourself out with all the running around and talking, but one thing is for certain, you will definitely not be bored. This is a time when you're really convincing as well too, so take advantage of that, but be aware of overtaxing yourself or becoming too argumentative. Okay. Aquarius Sun and Rising. So, my lovelies, your finances, will require an inspired touch right now. Um, you may see certain areas of your expenses rising, maybe because of something that you're working on creatively, or because other people may be asking you for your help, or even, maybe just because you were tempted to, buy that dress. Or do some online shopping or make a large purchase that you have been dreaming of for a while. So keep a close eye on yourself in that area. But on the other hand, just use your imagination. It's going to be a really good companion for you in terms of finding ways to increase your earnings right now. And finally, Pisces, my home team. At this time, you are at your most seductive, proactive, and effective right now. Hey, yeah, Pisces gang gang. You can, find well, how do I say this? You will pursue your ends with little interference from others, apart from the 15th of the month, when you might find yourself temporarily blocked by the higher ups. And when I say higher ups, I mean the planets. But just take this time to, make progress with whatever it is that you're desiring. Trust me, this is a time of great opportunity for you because Mars is giving you all the energy and stamina to do so. It's kind of like, the way when Mars is in Aries and it gives Aries all that energy raring to go. This is your time, so go 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 and win win win. Alrighty, guys. So that there was your breakdown of the Venus retrograde in Gemini and Mars in Pisces transit. Next, I'm going to be posting up the Jupiter retrograde in Capricorn, so keep a lookout for that. Thank you for listening, sharing, subscribing. Namaste.